get ready for prime time. Just get ready for prime time.
What do you think?
Get ready for prime time. Just get ready for prime time.
Tell them why.
Hey, Dion Michael Ashman on location for Get Ready for Prime Time. We are here at the book signing for Healthy Women Rock. How to live the life you desire and deserve, lose weight, and control negative thoughts. And here we have my dear friend, the actual author of the book, Miss Madeline McCrae. Maddie, how are you?
Hey.
See, I get to call her Maddie because we go back like that.
That's
Hey,
right, that's right.
Sister, I have read the book. I have enjoyed the book.
Thank you.
I know this book is about healthy women rocking, but guess what?
Tell me.
You are really going to inspire a number of men
Really?
with this offering.
Really?
Yeah, and we'll get to that.
Oh,
all right?
okay.
So, first of all, I know what inspired you to write the book,
Okay.
but we got to hear it from you.
Okay. So many things, but mainly to really provoke thought. Really provoke thought. To begin to get a conversation going with women and men, so I'm really happy to hear you say that it's going to mean something for men as well. To take a deeper look at what we're trying to accomplish and why we're trying to accomplish it. That's really important to me because we see, Tarasha and I, see the enormous struggle that women are going through to accomplish a great many things in their lives. But let's just start with this whole deal about losing weight.
Okay.
Okay, and some of the reasons why that ladies are having so many problems doing that and being consistent with it is because there are other issues going on in the background.
The life that you desire and you deserve is yours. You just have to claim it.
Correct.
Talk about that.
Yeah, that's my favorite thing. I think that we're all born with a destiny. And along the way, it gets little by little reduced in us by so many things, whether it's family discouraging you and telling you that your ideas are silly, or just a lack of confidence that you can actually accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. But
Sure.
Everybody has a dream.
Sure.
Everybody has a dream. From the time we're children, there are little inklings of what appeals to us, what comes natural to us. And if only we were left alone to explore those things and to develop those things, we'd be able to do it. And then we get stagnant as we become adults because, life kicks in, responsibility kicks in, and suddenly everything that you kind of dreamt about doing gets pushed along the sidelines.
The back burner?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, if that's the case, then you have to elaborate on that thing that people doesn't like to talk about. I look at it as an illusion, but others have their own perspective, and I want yours for our audience. And that is that thing we call fear.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that's a good one. Everybody has it. That's the thing. I think that if everyone just realized that the most successful people on the planet, people that we look at, the stars, the business people, I don't care who it is, everybody has fear. It's natural to have fear. Fear is a good thing.
I hear the big butt coming now.
You just have to use it. You just have to use the fear. You have to think about fear differently. If you turn it around, and let's say you want to do something, and it's really in your soul, this is what you're supposed to do. If you begin to think about what happens to you if you don't do it, and let that side of the fear drive you towards doing it, then fear works for you rather than against you. That's the way that I look at it. That's why I try to use my fear. I believe that the most powerful thing in the world that we can do is to know why we want to do a thing. If you don't know why you want to do something, you're not going to get it done.
Well, that's one of the continuing repetitive messages in the book that's fantastic. You have to know your why. You have to have a strong enough why. Is what you talk about. And it's funny because I remember going to church and a preacher preaching the same sermon like every week for about 3 weeks, and some of the parishioners went to him and asked him, "Well, why do you keep preaching the same sermon?" He said, "Because you all keep doing the same stupid things." So, and when I was reading the book, this is kind of like what was coming to my mind, because I'm like, she keeps talking about the why, and I get it. And you really want, the thing is, you just care so much about people that you want people to get it. So talk about the whole issue of having a strong why.
I think that's the foundation of it all, really. I really do. I think that, for example, I know, to go back as far in my own life, to the tragedies and the losses that I've experienced in my life, for example. Why do I want to be in a better position to be healthy as opposed to being sick? My why is that I don't want my children, my sons, to have to take care of me. I want to be around for my grandchildren. I want to do things that matter to me. But mainly, I just really don't want to be a burden, and that really is the strongest why that I can come up with for myself all the time, and that's the one that works for me. And what I'm trying to communicate in the book is that that's what everyone sort of needs to do. It doesn't have to be something that makes sense to everybody else in the world. It has to only make sense to you, because it's individual. That's another, I don't want to get too far ahead of the questions, but that's another one of the problems, is that, you know, we're in a culture, in a society where people believe that we are supposed to adapt to a one-size-fits-all, and there's no such thing.
No cookie cutter concept.
No. You have to find what works for you. And we're all different, yet we're all alike. So it's really about finding that thing, and don't try to convince other people.
That why, that purpose.
That purpose. It's yours. And when you understand that, you can begin to, you know, eliminate some of the other garbage. Because that's what it is. It's garbage.
And you talked about it. You talked about it, that why being something strong enough to bring you a powerful dream that inspires you.
Right.
So that whenever you hear the negativity, that just think about your dream and it changes your mood.
Exactly.
That, I think, that's just powerful. That's powerful in and of itself, because then you driven to take action.
Exactly.
And there's power in taking action, especially you're taking action knowing what it is you want to do.
Exactly.
And you give that to us in the book so eloquently.
Thank you.
What do you think? Get ready for prime time. Just get ready for prime time. Tell them why.
Now, I want to get into this whole concept of mixing the different topics that you cover in the book with goal setting and health and nutrition and mental health as well. You know, being able to recognize depression and take action using your power to do something about it. But before I go there, I want to segue there with the fact that the cover of this book is incredibly attractive. Okay, and not just because your lovely self is there. Okay,
Thank you.
That's like the icing on the cake. All right, but there's a quilt here that looks like it details some type of a connection to possibly family. Could you elaborate for us?
Yeah. It is a quilt, and it's a point, again, everything is personal about that book, including that cover. It's not a standard industry cover, and I didn't want one. I wanted everything about this book to be personal. We have a tendency, because we meet people along the way who have really good intentions, they make promises, they don't keep those promises, you get disappointed, you lose faith in everybody. And suddenly people get painted with a broad brush. Oh, everybody's a liar, nobody keeps their word, yada, yada, yada. And it's easy to fall into that, and it's a trap, because there are so many good people in the world, and so many people who value their word, value what they say. I mean, when I was growing up in Harlem, when someone said to you, word is bond, Either way they said that, you would want them to mean it in the good way, because either way you had to pay attention.
That was, I think, throughout the 5 boroughs.
Yeah, exactly.
Five team members, 1 squad.
Yes, exactly. So I met someone on Facebook. Let me first say, in the beginning, I hated Facebook because everything about all of that online world for me was just superficial. But I gave into it because the kids were on it, my kids and my grandkids, and I'm nosy and I want to keep up with what they're doing.
I thought that was just called being a concerned grandparent.
Well, that too. That too. No, but a woman sent me a friend request about a year and a half ago. And she said that, she felt a very strong connection to me. And I thought that was interesting. So we exchanged, the friend request. We, looked at each other's profiles. She's a grandmother, I'm a grandmother. And we found that we had a great deal in common. And one of the things that she does as an artist is that she is a quilter. And so out of the blue, she said she would like to make a gift to me of a quilt. Now, I love it when someone volunteers their art. I respect that because there's so much value in it. And so I, tried to get her to pay. She wouldn't accept money for it.
Intimate person.
Exactly. And I actually wanted to help promote her if she refused that. Eventually what I wound up understanding and said to myself, I'm sure she wants to do this, but come on, it's a quilt. It's time consuming, and I wasn't going to hold her to it, and I wasn't going to feel bad that she wouldn't get around to it. A year and a half later, this July, I got a package. And I opened the box, and there was this beautiful quilt. I was speechless. I was just speechless. Every time I think about it, I still tear up. Her name is Linda Jenkins. She lived in California, just recently moved to Texas with her family. She went so far as to embroider the names of my 5 grandchildren into this quilt.
Wow.
And I can't tell you how meaningful that was to me. And so I wanted to bring that point up. And then it just fit because it's, just the whole idea of women being cut of the same cloth. Sure, we're different swatches and patches and colors and moods and all of that good stuff, but we're still all cut from the same cloth. And I wanted to honor her. I wanted to honor that gift and to say thank you in a way that could be around for a good while.
For a long time to come.
Yeah.
Well, you mentioned your grandchildren's names being in the quilt, and 3 of those grandchildren, if I'm not mistaken, are courtesy of your youngest son, Tarashe T.J. McCrae.
Correct.
Now, you talk about nutrition in the book. How do you get the concept to combine all the different? Because this is slightly different. It's not, I couldn't simply just call this a self-help book. This is more like a peace offering for life. It's almost like you could use this as like a blueprint.
Wow.
And I'm not just saying that because I've known Madeline for 18 years. I'm saying it because it's really what it is. And you just decided to do what you wanted to do. And that's what's really interesting about it. But the whole concept of it, including the nutrition with the issues of mental health and issues of goal setting and having your why and creating that blueprint, that foundation as you call it. Talk to me about that and how you pulled Tarashe into the project.
Interestingly enough, it was Tarashe who, as you know, he's a certified personal trainer and a nutritionist.
Has a number of certifications.
Oh yeah. He really is. He loves what he does. He got his degree in communication and television production, and then switched over when he started studying human biology in college, and did a whole career shift there.
Right.
So basically, he's a healer. When you come right down to it. And he's been a personal trainer since 1995. So he's worked with a lot of women, And this is a discussion that he and I have ongoing. And quite frankly, the concept of my talking about the fact that women have other issues going on in their lives. And so when they attempt, and set out with a goal to lose weight and to get healthy, sometimes they fall back on that. And then they beat themselves up. But the truth of the matter is that there are so many layers of things going on. And now, of course, I know this, by having my girlfriends and, the women in my family and, just in general, but not from the perspective of a personal trainer. Not from the perspective, you know how they say, well, the bartender knows everybody's business because,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Well, a personal trainer is pretty much the same way. Yeah. Women, come, they trust you. They're trusting you with their health. They're trusting you to get them to where they say that they want to go. And they talk to him about a lot of the issues that, are going on in their lives. And so they'll set out and get successful to a point and then fall back. So you can't separate the issues. You really can't separate the issues of mental health and physical health. It is one issue.
Right.
And so, he came to me and he said, listen, I want to reach a lot of women with what I know about nutrition and exercise and science. And you mentor people, you're always, people talk to you, they come to you for counsel. How would you feel about writing a book? And I'm included in that. It's a natural. It's a real natural because he's able to give the expert advice. That's not my backyard. He trains me. I practice Bikram yoga as well. And then I work out with him. I'm not his easiest client because I'm his mother.
I know you like throwing kicks and not being able to be charged with child abuse.
You saw that?
You like that?
Yeah, it was nice.
Well, I could get him back for that time.
Exactly. Yeah, but he gets me back too, trust me. Because there are things I'm like, okay, that's enough. I don't want to do any more reps. All right, that's enough.
When I read that, I almost fell off my chair. I stumbled because I said she did not just say that.
Yes, of course I said it.
But then I started thinking about who I was reading, whose work I was reading. I said, okay, that's just Maddie. Maddie's being Maddie.
But that's really how, we both sort of decided to work together on this particular project. I mean, he coming at it from the perspective of someone that that has all this other information and the relationship with women, and you develop a friendship, you develop a kinship with people that trust you with their health.
What was it like working with your baby boy as a grown man? Knowing, because one of the photos in the book one of the pages in the book has two photos. One of Tarashe when he graduated from Head Start with you, and then there's a current photo of him training you.
Right.
And what was that like?
Well, you might want to ask him.
I mean, that's a different relationship. That's a totally different dynamic.
Yeah.
Here's your little boy, who is now all grown up, and he's this personal trainer. Well, actually, no, he's a fitness expert is what he really is. I don't want to slight him. He's a fitness expert and a nutritionist.
Correct.
So, and now you have this professional relationship with your son.
Mm-hmm. It was good. It was good for the most part. I have my deadlines. I can be a taskmaster. I've always been a taskmaster. I'm not always the easiest person on the planet to work with. I'll admit that. But it was good. It was good because I really respect how seriously he's taken his career. Yeah. I respect the love that he has and the passion that he has for health and fitness. Tarashe did something about, I'd say maybe it's been 2 years now, that most men don't do, and that is he went onto a television show with Terry Williams. As you know, Terry Williams and I are very, very close.
Yes, that was Our World?
Our World. Black Enterprise.
Black Enterprise Business Report?
Yeah, and
I saw that.
because as you know, Terry wrote the book Black Pain, It Just Looks Like We're Not Hurting, about depression in the black community. And that is, she's a very powerful advocate for mental health. And I learned, quite frankly, a lot about depression through working with Terry on the book when I came back from the Virgin Islands. Right. I really had not spent a lot of time focusing on the issue, on mental health issues at that level until, no, not at that level, not until I got involved with Terry and her work, her mental health work. And one of the things that became very obvious through her work and research is that black men have a tremendous problem admitting that they suffer from depression.
Wow.
And as she, says all the time, and it's obviously absolutely true, those things that you hold on to in that way will destroy you in the long run. It makes you sick. Most people don't know that.
She's totally right.
Yeah.
I fought it. I was afraid to be depressed. When my brother passed away, as you well know, you knew my brother Don very well.
Yes, I did.
I was afraid.
Yeah.
I was afraid. And, I mean, after he passed, like I told you the other night, I would literally go into the shower every morning at 10:30 and cry. Yeah, 6'5", 245 pounds, and I cried for like 20 minutes. And then I went and I got therapy. I went and got help. Because I didn't want it to become something I was going to consume my life. And there are people who had it far worse than, I can't minimize what I went through is what I went through, but there are people who are going through it throughout their whole life.
Exactly.
And it's critical, and you bring that to light, and you give suggestions, you give out phone numbers. I mean, you are just so generous with information.
That's what we're supposed
and this
to
offering,
do.
this literary offering. You just really are.
No, but that's what are we supposed to do? We learn something, we pass it on. I don't need to know all of that stuff just for myself. In my family, it's a better world that I hope that we can all strive towards. And so sharing that information, hopefully, is the direction that people will look at. And that's why I wanted to include a part of Terry's story in there, because I can be, I'm old school on certain things. I've never known depression at that level either, to be honest with you. Episodic depression perhaps, because if there's a sadness, if you lose someone as you lost Don, of course you're going to become depressed. But there are people who suffer from clinical depression, and they need to look at those circumstances and treat them in a myriad of ways. And one of the ways that is highly suggested is to do to go to therapy, and that also can be corrected many times through nutrition and diet. A lot of people don't know that. Right. The detoxification of the body. A lot of people have food allergies, and they don't realize that, with those food allergies, that also creates depression. Tarashi, of course, can elaborate on that much better than I can.
That's interesting that you even bring it to the table. I have a friend of mine who is in a very influential position, if you will. And she used to go to meetings, and sometimes she would just be stressed from something that had nothing to do with the meeting she was about to go to. And it would be an important meeting around a boardroom table about whatever the project was. Right. And her eye would swell up. She went to the doctor. They would try this, they would try that, they would try the next thing, and nothing. Finally, she went to a bush doctor, a Caribbean bush doctor. Right. And he said, he took one look at her and said, you have a yeast problem. You're eating yeast and it doesn't agree with your system. And sure enough, when she stopped eating yeast, went away. Yeah. And then when she would tinker with, when you grow up with a Caribbean background, one of the things you like to do is eat bread.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, I know.
And sure enough, that's what happened.
Yeah.
That's what happened. She ate some bread, it came back. Yeah. She leaves it alone. Right. She's fine. Yeah. I mean, I've got, my grandchildren have allergies. Several. Like I got 15, right? But a couple of them have food allergies and so forth. So it's important to really identify those things early on. Absolutely. Yeah. So now, when we think about our sisters out there, what do you want to leave them with? What message do you really want to leave them with? And what action should they be taking, like, now?
Maybe the main thing would be claim your power. Claim your power because you have it. Power doesn't mean necessarily, doing anything that's harmful to someone else. Mm-hmm. Your power is your own power to transform your own life. Mm-hmm. Be accountable. Be accountable for your own happiness. Don't look outside yourself for someone else to make you happy. It's great when it happens, but if you have the peace in your own heart and in your own spirit, then you can bring that joy out to the rest of your world, to the family, your friends, what you do for a living, all of that. And that's claiming the power. That's what it means to me. One of the things that I try to say all the way through this book is, I talk about the things that work for me. Mm-hmm. And but everybody has something that works for them.
And you also talk about some of the people who inspired you quite openly, like Bessie Coleman and Madam C.J. Walker.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And there's another lady too. Her name escapes me right now, but she was an executive back in I'd say from
Dorothy Shaver.
Right.
Yeah.
For like a 15-year period of one of the major corporations.
Absolutely, Lord and Taylor.
Lord and Taylor.
Yeah.
You would never know it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you never heard about it.
Exactly. But women have been powerful for a long, long time, and Bessie Coleman, as you know, I do that show about her, first female African-American pilot in the world, and that's a prime example. I'm drawn to women who know what they want and go after it. Those are my role models.
Incidentally, yes, we're talking about Healthy Women Rock, but if you're really interested in seeing a wonderful one-woman play, you would definitely want to reach out to Madeline McCrae and have her come to your institution, your community-based organization, your university, and have her perform A Dream to Fly, the Bessie Coleman story. It's incredible. Written, produced, and executive produced by Madeline McCrae. So I have to share that.
Thank you.
It's
Appreciate
just what it is.
Oh.
So getting back to our sisters and what you want to leave them with.
That's it. Claim your power. Love yourself. Love yourself. Love yourself more than you give yourself credit. Give yourself a break.
Got
Just
it.
do it because you can do it.
So, for the first five people that call 718-771-4499, you're going to get a courtesy copy of this book, Healthy Women Rock. Call 718-771-4499 now. Madeline, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Always.
It's D.L. Michael Ashman. Get ready for prime time. Stay strong.